Now I know we've all heard of a split tip design, but have you guys ever heard of a split air cap design? This may be hard to see. I'm recording on my Meta glasses, but this air cap actually has slits in it. So if you look in the center, you may be able to see that it has rounded out edges in all four corners. So we're gonna put this to the test. I know Segola came out with a gun recently that also features this. I'm supposed to be getting one of those guns, so hopefully I do. But in the meantime, we have this gun to test out, thanks to CJ from CJ's Restos. So first things first, let's check out that fan. Looks pretty good. Not bad. It's a very healthy fan. This thing's putting out a lot of material. Now I put our wet bed on here already, so we'll just go right into our color and start blending it out. Wow. I do like the pattern on it a lot. Very, very even. Not a ton of overspray. I mean, in all honesty, it made that pretty easy. Let's see how it does this bumper. This is a really weird color. I have never sprayed this color before, but it's a solid color. Doesn't have any pearls and it doesn't have any metallics. It actually doesn't even have any variants. There was only one variant for this color. It's definitely a quicker gun. Don't have to move slow with this thing at all. It also says HTE. Obviously, we all know that means high transfer efficiency. And it does seem like it has a rather high transfer of material to the panel because there wasn't a lot of overspray. And everything went down and got covered with ease. So we'll let this flash off. In the meantime, we'll take this in the booth. We'll take this in the paint room and tear it down and see a little more about this gun's design. All right, we're in the mixing room. Now, this gun is made by Outlaw. Never heard of them, but I can honestly say after that first coat of base, I'm pretty impressed. So we'll take our fluid tip off, and I believe I've seen this before, this plastic insert on other guns. That I think is just designed as a way to prevent leaks. So when you tighten it, these two pieces kind of squish together to ensure nothing's going to leak out. Generally, you'll see something like that in a gun that is not machined as precise as, say, an Iwata or something of that tier. The air delivery is very interesting. I have never seen this before. You can see we got two holes up top, and then we have a center air cap, kind of like my gun, but this is actually built in, so this doesn't come out of this gun. I will say, I love how this trigger feels. It has absolutely zero play in it. I love that. Even guns like my Iwata, it drives me crazy. I don't know why. It's not a big deal, but it drives me crazy. But ultimately, it's a very light gun. It's got a very interesting air delivery method here. And of course, it's got a very interesting cap that seems to be working great. And the fluid tip, like I said, we've seen this before on other guns. All in all, it looks like a quality gun. It feels like a quality gun. And somehow, I believe CJ said he picked this gun up off of, I want to say Temu, for somewhere in the $100 price range. It was definitely in the lower to mid $100 price range. So right around the same price as the Black Widow. Now, one thing I did notice is you have to push this fluid nozzle in to start tightening it. It's very weird. All right, so that's all. I mean, I don't really have much more to say other than that about the gun. Looks good, feels good, very interesting design, and it seems to be performing quite well. Before we do our drop coat, I have to say, after putting my second coat of base on, I am extremely impressed. I mean, I really wasn't expecting much, being that this is such a cheap gun, but I probably should have had higher expectations, being that CJ spent 70 bucks just to ship the gun to me. So obviously he thought it was a pretty good gun, good enough that he wanted to get my opinion on it, and I now see why. So we're going to do our drop coat. We'll see how good this thing is at atomizing at a lower pressure. And then ultimately, we'll see how this thing puts down some clearance. All right, we're all set for our drop coat. I have my pressure right around 15, 16 PSI. And we're still getting very fine droplets. That's impressive. Now, I can't say that I know exactly how the air cap design is influencing the behavior of the gun. All I can say is the gun is not behaving like a low to mid-range $100 gun at all. The material is only going where I want the material to go. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that detail over these glasses, but I mean, that blend was extremely easy. My material is going out just a touch further on every pass. Now, my color looked like it might have been a touch darker, so that's why I took my blend out so far there. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit too, just to kind of fade it out. Yeah, that gun has a lot of control. I mean, between the trigger and how well it's atomizing, it makes it very easy to do a blend. It would have been interesting to see how this would perform with the metallic. Although, I mean, I could give you my opinion. I think it would have did just fine. It's very rare that a gun in this price range works for you. Usually, you gotta work for the gun to work. But not with this one. And obviously, I have no incentive to say anything good or anything bad about this gun. But I can honestly say, to this point, I have nothing bad to say about it at all. And I've been running this gun with this fan and the fluid wide open on every single pass so far. And I'm going to do the same for my clear. You guys may notice I'm going to clear a little differently. Wow, we just ran out right at the edge of the bumper. Talk about not wasting a speck of material. I'm going to go mix our clear up, and then we'll start putting that down and see how this gun performs. And then I'll give you guys my rating out of 10. Now, hopefully you guys will be able to hear me all right, but we're all set for clear. I'm using my Omni MC161 unreduced. I have my pressure right around 2 bar. Fanning fluid is wide open. And first pull of the trigger. This thing is, it's going to put out a lot of material. A lot more than I'm used to. So my first thought about this gun, after finishing up my base with it, was, given that it's priced so cheap, this may be a good entry-level gun for a lot of you guys looking to get into painting. So naturally, the next thing I looked up was the CFM requirements, because I know that matters a lot to you guys who are not in a professional shop and you're working from home or in your garage and you don't have a giant compressor to work with. And unfortunately, this gun requires 12 CFM, which you're not going to find in most smaller compressors. I mean, I don't think you'll find that in any compressors. Usually for smaller compressors, they tend to top out right at around 11, and even that is stretching it quite a bit. So unfortunately, unless you have a bigger compressor, you're not going to be able to use this gun efficiently. Now, I mixed more material than I normally would for this job, and thank God I did, because I mean, it's blowing, absolutely blowing through material. But it does seem like it's all, you know, going on the panel and not flying around in the air.
Don't get me wrong, there is overspray, of course, more than I would like, but the transfer efficiency is not bad at all. So while it does use a lot of material, the material does seem to land and stick on the panel. And for a first coat, this is a great finish. Okay, it's only been about 3 minutes since I put that first coat on, but as I mentioned, I've been trying a new way of clearing, and I do intend on releasing a video about this method, potentially later this week, but at least for now, you guys will get to see how it comes out. But I definitely want to talk to you guys about the science behind this method and the result that you can get if you use this method correctly. But you gotta be careful because, like I said, I only left about 3 minutes in between coats. And if you don't know what you're doing and you're leaving like a third of your flash time, you're starting your second coat, it's a great way to screw yourself over. And you guys see how quick I'm moving here, and there's a reason for that as well. And it doesn't have to do with the gun, although the gun does use a shitload of material, like I said 10 times already. I'm sorry, but it does. That would probably be the only negative thing that I have to say about the gun, to be honest. It just uses a lot of material, man. I mean, it looks like it's gonna get a phenomenal finish, but I don't know if it's worth it. It's a fire hose. It's a fire hose, but it's an accurate fire hose, which is very rare. So we're gonna let this flash off. We'll come back and see how everything came out, and I'll give you guys my rating out of 10.
Okay, it's been about 10, maybe 15 minutes. So this thing is all flashed off, ready to bake. And you can see we have an impeccable finish from the gun. I mean, I can't lie to you. Look at the quarter. It looks just like factory. The orange peel is spot on, and the finish is damn near flawless. Same thing with our bumper. So realistically, it's a good gun, especially for the price. The only downsides are it uses a high CFM, which, as I mentioned, means you need a big compressor to run this gun. That's number one. And number two, the thing just drinks material. I mean, if guns drank alcohol, this thing's an alcoholic. Put it like that. So with those two things being said, and the finish that we got on this car, I'm going to rate this gun an 8.7 out of 10. It is an absolutely great gun, very precise, atomizes great, can use it for base or clear, just as effective for either, but you need a big compressor, and it's a guzzler. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if you got any value out of it, or if you were entertained, if you could, please drop a like, comment, or maybe even subscribe. Until the next time, peace!